Hello and welcome to this episode of the GingerTalks podcast. My name is Ginger Snaps, joined as always by the wonderful Druid.
Buongiorno. How are you today?
I am phenomenal. I'm gonna let the cat out of the bag a little bit early. We missed a week because I decided to record a podcast episode on the road, and we were missing half of the audio.
Yeah, and can I just say that it was my half of the audio,
Yeah.
and you will be hearing from my lawyer.
Listen, it was an accident. I swear. Please don't come for my kneecaps, man.
Hey, you know how we deal with things down this side of the street.
But no, we fully intended to have a podcast episode up while I was recorded while I was out at Dragon Con. But alas, there were some snafus in the recording process. So here we are. I've missed you guys.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm really hoping that absence has made the heart grow fonder, and you come back in your droves. But if you didn't, fuck you. And I
Yeah,
guess you're not listening to that, so I'm just shadow boxing. But
yeah.
really, seriously, if you don't come back, then what are you doing?
I mean, this is quality. We've upped the quality, hopefully. Hopefully. Um, but no, we're trying to always improve things and make things better. And the last podcast, I know I was in no place to be recording a
Uh,
podcast. I don't think you were either.
Yeah, yeah. I'd had a pretty rough night the night before. I was completely cold turkey for that, and maybe it was just the universe telling me that I need to like kind of keep on with the '70s rock band approach that I've been giving to this podcast since the beginning.
I mean, that's fair. And I still had a day or two left of the con, and like I couldn't bend my knee. It was just it was kind of a nightmare. But we made it work and we had some really good conversations, which makes me really sad. I think we'll revisit some of those today because we again are sans guest because I'm super on top of my game post convention. Super on top of it.
Yeah, I mean, well, there's a lot going on your channel at the moment.
Mm.
And you're not the only one out there. Past gas, Freudian slip, past guest of the podcast, Adzi. I'm sorry, Adzi. Um, past guest, past guest. uh,
You can't keep it together now, can you?
no. Oh shit. Okay. No. No. This is it. We were talking about an increase in quality, and I've just like at the first hurdle.
We're just talking
um.
about passing gas. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah. I had a burrito for dinner. What can you say? No. Yeah. Past guest of the podcast, Adzi. He's also got a charity stream as long as you as along with yourself.
Yeah.
There's loads of people doing some really cool stuff at the moment, and I think that we need to let people carry on with what they're doing as well as coming on to our podcast.
Oh, for sure. Well, and since we're on that topic, it's so funny because when things happen or they start happening around me and for me, it's like everything happens. But when everything is chill and quiet, it is like silent. And it's like, oh, I guess there's nothing going on. Okay, bye guys. Love you.
Yeah. I'm looking through a telescope to try and find where my friends are,
I know.
just like high school.
But
Uh,
it's been good because a lot of good has come out of all of this chaos.
yeah, absolutely. Um, you know, and hopefully we'll feed into more positive events in the future as well.
That's my hope.
Mm, for sure. And just to keep the momentum going, you know, we didn't, obviously to the listener, we haven't had the chance to address your subathon. And I'll talk about it just very briefly and just say, like, people gave so generously. It makes such a difference, you know, for 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 streamers like Ginger, but it goes to other causes as well, and it's all positive stuff. So please, you know, keep on with that spirit, because it's really inspiring to see really good stuff. And I just keep going, continue, rove on, because I'm behind it all the way. Everyone's been so amazing.
I know I can say that it all still feels like a blur. I went back and watched probably a 3-hour section of the VOD from the subathon, and just the genuine fun to be had and the genuine feeling of community when you see other people do this, and people are throwing money just to get attention, and these guys weren't throwing money to get attention. They were throwing money and subs and bits and everything to support and have a good time. And I've met some amazing people here recently, and we throw around the term hearts and stuff. And hearts and stuff is fully the embodiment of what we want to do. We are, and I also a guy I know uses the term kind violence. And that's what that was. That was kind violence. I mean, we weren't even 8 hours into the subathon, and the timer was maxed, and people kept giving.
Yeah, and it's, I don't know what you guys do for a living, but uh,
Sign me
you're,
up.
yeah, yeah. If there's anything going, I'd
Yeah,
be quite happily to join in.
right?
Um, you're putting the stream through a semester of college.
Yeah. I mean, the I'm very transparent about money, because those of you who haven't been around my channel, you've never seen my channel, you're new. Um, I went through a very rough, well, year and 9 months at this point. I mean, we all have had a hard time basically these last 2 years, but I started the pandemic homeless with negative bank balance and, you know, no warm place to lay my head. And to have turned around so hard and so fast, just it wasn't a 180. Like, it was, what is it,
I think
whatever.
a Tony Hawk's Pro Skater in D900.
Yeah, I mean, it literally has just been a whirlwind of going up. And I told somebody, I said, this was not my lowest rock bottom, but that was a rock bottom for me. And, like, it was one of those things where I had great people that supported me and helped me and gave me a couch to crash on, or whatever it was. And to be now at this point where I had a subathon, and if I had uncapped my subathon, it would have been 55 hours of streaming minimum. And it would have kept going. I know it would have. Eventually, it would have ended, which was fine. I'm perfectly, perfectly fine with how it went. I'm over the fucking moon. Like, I'm still shook. But
That's enough Power Wash Simulator to revive the hit series Home Improvement.
yeah, I mean, it literally just, like, it floored me. And somebody asked me why I was donating money from my subathon earnings to charity. And they were like, "I would have kept all that money." And I said, "Well, because there's like, it's not an insignificant figure, but that the money that I've chosen to take from the subathon and donate to a charitable cause is not an insignificant amount to that charitable cause."
Yeah.
like that money in January of 2020 would have helped me out of a really rough situation. I'm at a stable spot. Like I may still be living, paycheck to paycheck, but I have more expendable money. And the fact that I'm at a point where I have some expendable money, let me give some of that money to other folks. Let me give it to charity. Let me throw it at a friend's stream because I can't take it with me to the grave. I don't roll around at night in my bed naked in all of my money. Like, what am I going to do with it? I'm going to
Yeah.
help those who helped me.
And if anyone wants to give me money, I'll be happy to take it.
I mean,
No,
uh,
no, not to undermine that. I think it's wonderful what you've done with that, and an example to others really of how to use your platform in a way that benefits others. It's a good thing to do. It's a great thing to do. Um, More people should do it. So
and
hats off to you.
well, and the other thing too is somebody was just like, "Don't shame me because I'm keeping all of my money from my whatever." And I said, "I'm not shaming nobody. It's your money. You do what you want with it. This is what I'm choosing to do because it's what I feel moved to do. Do what you want with your money. Like, if you want to light it on fire, light it on fire. That's a dumb choice. Don't light your money on fire, but do what you want with your money. I mean,
Yeah,
like, don't
unless
just
you're
because
unless you're rich, uh,
then give
and
me all your money.
if you're if you're rich, buy me a Chipotle and then give a larger percentage of your wealth to the children. For
Yes.
fuck's sake.
I do accept payment in the form of food. Uh but it's just, I've been very fortunate. So I want to give back and keep pushing forward because the only place I have to go is up.
Yeah,
Like, so
absolutely.
coming off the subathon and then going into Dragon Con was such a whirlwind.
There was literally was it one day a rest and then you were traveling and that was no duck walk that drive across the country, was it?
No, so I had one day of quote unquote rest where we still did, try to get a little community activity together. And we watched a phenomenal film. Uh, but
This is now the Miami Connection podcast.
yes, yes, that's all we do is we talk about the Miami connection. Um, but
Fine with me.
right, so bad but so good. But then my friend came in. Uh, she traveled from out west to the Midwest where I'm at, and then we got up the very next morning and drove the 15 hours or 14 hours to Atlanta, and then it was just a week-long con adventure, and that was just a blast and a whirlwind. So I really haven't stopped. I I've been going and going and going and going and going, and eventually I'll crash a little bit, but
Yeah. Strike by the iron's hot, I think.
yep,
Because as I understand it, the Khan, it's and I'm sure many of our listeners were there or have been to cons before. I've not been to a con before. It's not really necessarily the world I occupy, which is fine. I respect it and love what it represents. But the con is more than just the con, isn't it? And
yeah,
you know, in the kind of world we're occupying here, with Twitch streamers and things like that, almost the con is almost like a networking event for that as well. I
yeah.
think.
It very well or very much can be. Like, I met people face to face that I'd never met, but they are some of my best friends. I mean, Lila, our very first guest, she and I were inseparable
The first
that
gas we
entire
passed.
convention. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah, we were inseparable, and it was just so much fun, so much chaos, and I met, people that I had associated with, but I hadn't, like, we weren't super close, and then they were the folks who were just like, "I can't wait to meet you. Oh my god, let's hang out." And I was just like, "This is amazing."
Yeah, yeah. It really sounded like that kind. It was, and if you don't mind me saying, kind of like a substantial end credits to the monster that was the subathon.
Yeah,
If you know what I mean, kind of after all
yeah,
that and the celebration of the channel for a year, to then go out and meet so many people for the first time and things like that. It's like, part of that celebration as well, almost at that point.
yeah. I mean, because it was right. It was one of those things where, like, meeting Lila and I sit on FaceTime, and Lila and I play games together off stream, and we talk all the time. But to look up the little hill beside the hotel where, her fiancé had parked the car, and her waving like a goober, and me waving back just as equally goofy, to watch her walk down the hill and be able to actually hug her, it was so emotional. And she tried to stick around for the entire subathon, but I made her go take a nap. Like, I was like, "None of you are useful to me as moderators if you're all just as tired and loopy as I am. Go nap. Go sleep." Like, y'all are nuts. But, you know, meeting Lila and Storm and Juju and so many of these people face to face when, we're all over the country. It just felt good.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah, I'm jealous. I wish I could have been there. Obviously, geography, uh, hell of a factor. But,
Yeah.
who knows? One day maybe I'll go down to Atlanta.
Hell yeah.
When I start shitting gold. Um, which with how the podcast is going, I'm sure it's going to be by next year.
I mean, fucking hope so, man.
I'm ready to start making some fucking money, man.
Ah,
Give me your money. Give me the money. Show me the money.
we are accepting applications for sponsors.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
can email at gingersnaps67business@gmail.com. Uh,
yeah. And if you make wine, you're a wine manufacturer, then I'll happily sample your wine on air and give a live review. Just to let you know.
and if
Um,
you
yeah.
dabble with whiskey or bourbon, I will happily
Yeah. I will also.
happily do a tasting.
That would be the dream. Like several whiskey manufacturers give us whiskies of stronger percentages, and we do drunk hot ones with whiskey.
Oh my god. That would be amazing. You have no idea how excited I just got.
Yeah, yeah. In fact, we should just do that anyway.
Yeah, whiskeys that we can both get.
Yeah, yeah. Just like they get a little bit more intense as they go up the scale, and drunker questions with even drunker drinks.
Oh my god. I am sold. I am in for that.
Then just disclaimer: I'm not advocating alcoholism,
No.
uh, but it's hella fun.
I mean, yeah. I
Ooh.
I don't advocate getting so sloshed you can't do anything, but considering our last podcast episode, it was all three of us drinking,
I mean,
you know.
well, we were still able, we were still able to do stuff. Okay,
Exactly.
we were still doing stuff. I was able to hold a conversation, which
Yes.
fantastic. Shortly after, when it stopped rolling, that was when it was clear that we had, well, in mine and Lava's cases,
Oh,
maybe a couple of victims.
you guys were rough. And like I was off in my kitchen making some food, feeling nice and buzzed, and you two were just giggly bitches.
Yeah, well, that's the space I occupy, and I'm happy to live in that lane.
Yeah. I and I will never deny you that. As you say, follow your bliss.
Follow your bliss. Let it take you. I was wild swimming. I like to go swimming in wild rivers.
Oh.
It's a little bit of a hobby of mine, and it was a cold day, and I went with my girlfriend, and she did. I just said to her, "Let it take you, let it take you," as the ferocious current swept me up to the bank. Let it take you.
Let it take you, baby. It'll be fine. I'm not drowning.
Yeah, yeah. Let it take you. I was so cold, and I got bit to fuck. But I tell you what, I've been sick lately, for the listener, and it was like being baptized by wellness again.
Nice. Yeah. So you the when we attempted to record a podcast a week ago, you were coming off of a very long night of drink. My voice sounded like it had been through a wood chipper, and we were both just exhausted, absolutely just fucking exhausted. And then I get a message from you later in the week that you were just sick as a damn dog. And
Yeah,
I have been very quietly thinking about you being sick and wishing there was something I could do, knowing full well there wasn't shit I could do.
yeah. Well, it turns out I had the norovirus,
Oh,
mhm, which is I don't know how much the listener wants to engage in this conversation, but basically vomiting every 20 or so minutes.
oh God.
Um, yeah, didn't get a lot of sleep. This is why after my swim yesterday, I had my first bite of food in 4 days,
Oh.
which, at my partner's will was an Italian restaurant,
Mm.
which I was quite mad about. Um, yeah, after I finished the meal, oh my goodness, that was it. I was out for 14 hours of sleep when I got home.
Good.
Yeah, and it's to be quite honest, only today, from about Wednesday to now, only today have I fully recovered.
Dang.
Yeah, so I'm back to my old classic bad behavior, which is nice and liberating. I miss having my head in the clouds, so to speak. But
Yeah.
actually, when you're that sick, I mean, like, I was just, I'm basically what I've decided to do is I'm not going to drink in the month of October.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm going to take a month off. I'm going to eat more whole foods, fruits and vegetables. And I don't know if you can hear it in my voice now. Like, I'm a little bit more alive, a little bit more alert.
Yes.
And I'm just going to hit the ground running and stay on with that, I think. But please, don't worry, those at home. I will still be giving the same disgustingly cynical takes. It's not going to change anything. There's certain pastimes that I won't be giving up that intoxicate you. So not much change, but yeah, I want to hit the next month with a bit of a clearer head and just do something positive with feeling a bit better.
Good. And that's when I was at the convention, I was getting flack from people because I was like eating salads for lunch. And the thing is I have a food allergy to carrots. So for me to be able to find in a hotel like market a salad that I could eat and know I wasn't going to die or have some serious breathing issues, I was all over that salad. And I burned an insane amount of calories while I was down there. But I felt so good eating. I ate like a salad 4 days in a row, and I was so excited and I was so happy. And then I come back and all I've eaten is the leftover snacks from the hotel room. And like I had chicken wings and curly fries yesterday.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
But
I'm I'm generally pretty good with diet as a whole. I'm vegetarian,
I was gonna say you're a vegetarian, so
but
that's a bit
no,
easier.
it's a misnomer though that that's healthy because there's so many options around these days for you to like play up and have an absolute,
Mm.
being a food coma. And I was going that before I got sick. I was like eating a lot of junk, gaining a little bit of weight. I'm not a big guy.
No, you're
Um,
not.
I've got, alcohol has given me all the weight I have.
Mm.
I have absolutely no muscle mass whatsoever. So,
Aw.
no, it's fine. Yeah, so I was starting to look a little bit like either the silhouette of a cartoon duck or a potato with like toothpicks for arms and legs. So I think
Yeah.
like that's going to be the goal for the rest of the year now. Is to turn this from the Ginger Talks podcast into Journey to Abs with Ginger and Druid.
Oh. See,
No.
it was so funny because nobody believes me until they actually physically see my legs that I have very muscular legs. They think because I'm a little bit of the thickness that I'm just a fat blob. Probably not a fat blob, but I mean, I'm just more on the squishy side. But then when you look at my calves, my thighs, and my ass, it is all just muscle. It is just a massive muscle that just is terrifying if I can get you in a leg lock or if I kick you. I
Yeah.
mean, it's
Yeah, I was about to say you're like the Bond villain that comes out. The main villain like sends you out. He's like, "Oh, beware, Mr. Bond. Here is Ginger." And then you come out like from like a concealed compartment, and you come out like, and then you like jump onto James Bond and try and like strangle him with your legs, legs only.
yeah. So
And that's the end of Daniel
I
Craig, and that's why Daniel Craig is leaving the James
yeah,
Bond franchise.
terrified of these thick thighs.
Or maybe he liked it too much. Who
I
knows?
mean, who knows? I was hanging out with a buddy and we were sitting there and I I put one of his legs in a leg lock and he tried, joking to get out of it and then he really actually started trying. And this guy did 2 years of Brazilian jiu-jitsu. So grappling is what he did. He could not escape my leg lock that I was barely trying to maintain, and I let him do whatever he wanted. Like, go ahead, tickle, poke, prod. I don't care. Hands, you've got hands, and you've got another leg. Good luck. And he tried for like 30 minutes and could not escape this leg lock. And I'm like, people don't believe me, but I'm like, I got them thick thighs that save lives, baby. Like
A tree can't dance in the wind without a strong trunk.
hell no, man. So it was one of those things, and nobody believes me that like I have this very, very firm muscular butt, and I'm like, "No, go ahead, poke it." And they're like, "Jesus." I'm like, "Well, what do you want from me? I I can't do anything about it now."
You know, in a podcast verse, I'm literally I'm trying so hard to react to this. I don't know what to say.
It's ridiculous,
So
but
the concrete ass. That's the name.
see it name of the
That's the
episode,
title of the episode.
yes.
The concrete ass.
I mean, I'll take it, fuck. But, so I walked upwards of 50 miles at the convention, and I only started having issues in the last couple of days with my knee, um, and I don't know why my knee suddenly started having issues, but I made it the whole con. The last couple days I didn't walk as much as far, but I still put in almost 10 miles those days. And so it has just been like I love going for walks. I love going running. I miss weightlifting at the gym, but you will not catch me on a treadmill.
No, because you're
Like,
always going forward.
yeah, I will. Like,
Because you refuse to stand still.
I do. I refuse. Like, even sitting here recording this podcast, I'm fidgeting with stuff. Like any background noise that you've heard in past podcasts is usually me like typing on my keyboard or playing with something that's on my desk. There was a squeaking sound in one of them, and I was playing with a hair clip.
Yeah, I wish I could say the same because you know your knees giving out on the final days of Dragon Con. My knees will give out by the end of this recording. It's partially because because I'm very rough and ready. I record the podcast from the edge of my bed.
Mhm.
So don't get any ideas, listeners. But
Oh.
um, I do sit in an awkward position.
Mhm.
I kind of crouch over my microphone in a very unflattering way, and this is just to give you the intricate timbres and vibrations of what it's like for me sitting here. But I crouch over, and I routinely have to remember to move my leg because I'm getting pins and needles in my toes,
Yep.
and I'm like, Jesus Christ, like what's happened to you, man?
I have
And I've just managed to evaporate any image of me being like a healthy guy. I'm like, I go wild swimming in rivers, and then I'm like, I eat takeout food, and I get pins and needles in my feet when I'm recording the podcast.
well, that's I get pins and needles in my legs and my feet when I sit in a normal chair or on a couch for too long.
Well, that's because they're getting suffocated by that concrete ass.
Exactly. It was
That's what
just
it
like,
is.
why do you have that issue, you think? And I said, it's because there's blood flow. I'm not getting enough blood flow down to those extremities because my ass is so firm.
The ventricles don't go through concrete.
Oh,
Oh God.
Siri started listening to me as I
Yeah.
was shouting about my ass.
And I was like, oh, I didn't think we had a guest on this podcast.
No, it's
I
just Siri being a
You're
creeper.
like, all right, my ass is too firm. I don't understand.
She does that to me all the time, and it's like, stop it, woman, you're
Uh,
terrifying.
yeah, well, it's like when I kept doing the "Okay Google" voice, and then
Yes,
my phone, my phone kept like searching for whatever we were talking about. And I'm
I
thinking, well,
love it.
what the fuck?
What?
Fuck
Somebody at
off!
Google is looking through the voice records
No,
of
it's
of the
done it.
search, and it's just like, what the fuck are these
Oh,
people talking about?
it's done it again. It's done it again. Fuck
It's
off.
just because you did your okay, Google.
Okay, Google. No, fuck off. Okay, Google. Can you please find me a restaurant that's open that serves salads without carrot, please?
Oh my god, I wish.
Beep, beep. And he's like, beep, beep. Showing restaurants. Showing concrete ass restaurants. Beep, beep. I don't understand that.
Oh.
And
Well, and that
why are they always smarmy British people doing the voices for this fucking... I don't understand.
I made mine Irish, because
Oh,
I
well.
could. Um,
Well, it sounded pretty British. Because, like, this is the thing that bothers me is all these, like, computerized voices are British. Because the rest of the world sees us as fucking butlers.
I mean, you're not wrong, and I hate that you're not wrong.
I didn't quite understand that. Would you like me to fetch the canapes? Beep, beep. Oh, fuck off.
Get out of here, Janet. I didn't ask for you.
Yeah. Hey, Janet. Hey, Janet. How about you bip bip fuck off?
Well, that's every time I'm streaming, she'll perk up and I'm like, "Can we not be creepy right now? That'd be great." Or
She just
I
wants
didn't
to
quite
slap.
understand what "shut the fuck up, you assholes"
Uh,
means. Or or no. And I'm like, "Stop it.
I'm
Weirdo."
sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't quite understand that. What is a stream, baby? It's like,
She
fuck.
needs her binky.
She needs a ice cream, baby. Um. Oh God.
We're just evolving into references, and that's fine.
Well, if I know, well, there's a few people that I know that listen to the podcast that aren't familiar with the stream. This would be my contingent, the UK listener,
Uh,
right? But
thank you.
aside from them, I don't give a fuck about your opinions. To you UK listeners. So, but what I'm saying is, like, aside from these guys, um, pretty much everyone's going to get the reference, surely.
Yeah.
I would
Um,
hope. I would hope. And if you've stumbled upon us and you're with us on episode 5 and you don't watch the stream, power to you.
yeah, you are MVP type people, and big preach to you.
Yeah, and please write in and tell us how you found out about the podcast because I
Yes.
haven't done that. We don't really promote it on personal profiles and stuff like that. We want to keep it quite
Yeah.
stream orientated, I think, for now.
Yeah. Well, and can we share the news that you shared with me during the last recording?
A- Absolutely, yeah, yeah, yeah. Very happy to announce, and I've. It feels like almost some celebration needs to be in order for this, really, because it's a milestone I didn't expect to be revealing quite so soon.
Me either.
Is that the podcast has hit 100 unique listeners across the platforms that we go out on at the moment.
Pew 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 pew.
So
Fanfare
yeah,
confetti. It's a parade.
we'll be able to like overthrow this twisted capitalist government within by the end of the fall,
Yeah,
and I can't wait.
totally. I'm here for it. Sign me up.
And a new era shall begin.
The
That
era of the
one
Ginger
shall give
Talks.
his the richest among us shall give their bits to the lowliest of streams. Oh my god!
Oh my
The
god, are you Ginger and Druid? Oh my god.
yeah, can't wait to get recognized in the street, man.
Right?
You know what I mean? Because roll out the 100 are here.
Mhm. It floors me that we have hit over 100 unique listeners this quickly because I never expected anything like that. Because there's obviously people from our community. There's people from your community's not the right word.
My circle of people I know, because you know, as we'll reiterate again, don't do anything.
I was gonna say something else, so circle of people is nice.
What? Oh no, come on then, put your money where your fucking mouth is.
I was gonna call them your bundle of assholes, but
What are you gonna say? What? Knoll of assholes?
bundle of assholes.
No. That's just my ass.
So I'm sure they're
Unlike
great people, but I don't know them, so fuck
no,
it.
unlike you, I've got no ass.
I mean, I
So
would
an
give you
ex.
some of mine, but
No, I don't want it because like I like the way. Well, no, jeans always fall off me. But here's a a behind the scenes look. An ex-girlfriend of mine once said that my ass was like a parachute that hadn't gone off yet. I don't know how to take that.
I'm laughing so loud and so high pitched that Discord keeps cutting me off. Oh shit. That's fantastic. I've never heard anybody's ass get compared like that. But
Well,
I
yeah,
love
it's just so compact.
yeah.
But then, like, I don't like the connotation, basically, that one day it will stop.
It will just explode out.
Yeah, and a big Union Jack will fall out of it, and like I'll drift slowly down the sky.
Oh, that's beautiful. But back to celebrating.
My ass is a celebration. What are you talking about?
I mean,
Very intimate detail I've just shared with all of you there. That's me celebrating the 100. Here, imagine my ass.
I never expected us to hit 100 unique listeners this quickly because I don't promote it on my private, my personal pages. I occasionally tweet about it. I talk about the podcast during stream and in my Discord server, but I don't promote it out very heavily. I've never bought advertising for it. Like I don't somebody told me I should buy advertising for the podcast and I'm like, honestly, right now, if it blew up, I don't know what I would do.
Yeah, you'd have to pay me.
I yeah, and I
No, all the money would come to me. I own the domain.
yeah, yeah. I
I'd have to pay
please,
you, motherfucker.
please,
Please,
Druid. I just want my cut, just a small cut,
uh,
please, just a
please,
little.
please, Druids. I don't know how I'm gonna make it through this cold winter.
Too real, too
Yeah,
fucking real.
I'm like, oh, okay, whatever.
No, I mean, here's the thing. I never do any of this stuff for the money. I know I just did a giant subathon, but and I'm doing a charity event. I don't do things for the money. I do it because I enjoy it. I've been talking for years when my ex-wife and I were still together. Uh, I talked about doing like a YouTube channel or doing this or doing that, and I never pulled the trigger. And now at this point, all it takes is for someone to drop me an idea in a DM, and if I like it, I'm already like, cool, yeah, we can do it this way, do this and do that, do this, that,
Yeah,
that, blah, 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 and then boom, we have something.
yeah, which is how this started essentially.
Oh,
Well, exactly.
I love it. And I
Well,
mean,
for me, I mean, the whole thing, being someone that's not a creator. Well,
it,
I guess I couldn't say that now, but as someone that wasn't contributing to the community, because I do create things, I do stuff, I
mhm.
make things, like, but as someone that wasn't, you know, and like able to actively participate, because I'll never do a stream, despite my interest in them. You know, for me, it was a way to give back. For me, it's a way to give back to everyone. You know, not just yourself, but it was obviously, you know, hours of entertainment and your time and our interactions. A way to give back to that, but a way to give back to everyone conversing with me. That was my
Mhm.
idea here,
Well,
and also the whole idea here is to give others a platform
yeah.
using what the platform that you created, and now that we're kind of you know, steering with this podcast.
Mhm. And the lack of guest is this week is completely my fault, but it also, like we said in the last recording, that it's almost fitting that we're celebrating 100 unique listeners back in the way that it started. I'm all about celebrating little milestones, and
Hmm.
100 unique listeners is just like we hit triple digits, and I when you told me that, Lila was in the room and she started to cry.
Yeah, it's it's more than I ever really expected in a way, and that's not to put like what you do down, but it's like it's a you know, and this is why hats off to anyone hearing the sound of my voice now,
Yes.
because like what the big gamble is you know, this is a completely new platform, a
Mhm.
new like a new way of expressing for both of us. Like neither of us have done a podcast before,
No.
and then it's kind of a leap of faith to assume that even one person is gonna take the leap from one platform to another.
Yeah.
And that's why every, you know, within that 100, every single person that has like come from anywhere is like like amazing. I can't celebrate that enough. You know, uh, I can't thank you enough. Every single person becomes part of what lets us snowball and keep doing this.
Mhm. It The first 2 episodes, I wanna say, I had a lot of nerves because it was, you know, okay, what if nobody listens? What if my idea to help, promote and cast a spotlight on these creator friends of mine, what if it amounts to nothing? Well, I tried.
Yeah.
And I'm still, every time I get ready to spout off the intro that you guys hear every time, my stomach still gets in a little knot.
Mhm.
And I firmly believe, as a creator, if you don't get those butterflies, you don't get those nerves, you don't get that little twinge of, okay, here we go, then you're not, it's not that you've lost the passion for whatever it is. You've become jaded, so you don't care as much.
Well,
And
and you're not you know, from personal experience here, you know, the moment you feel completely
Mhm.
comfortable with what you're doing, that you're not pushing your creative output in a way
Yep.
that, you know, if you're not challenging yourself
Mm.
to try and be better every time, then that that's where the magic's lost, I think.
Mhm. And, I
Because
have
yeah.
many friends who are actors who are just like, "Yeah, if I'm r right before I step out onto the stage or right before they call action, if I'm not at least a little bit nervous, just even if it's something that I've pushed down and I've suppressed for the sake of my character, I know that I've become too complacent."
Well, you know, it's the same, you know, with music for me, performance. I can play to I've played to 3,000 people.
Mhm.
and I've played to 5 people, you know,
Mhm.
and I get the same feeling
Well, I
for
mean,
the 5 people.
you I know when you first started sharing your music with me, one on one, you were so nervous. And that tells me that you care as a musician. That tells me that you care about your craft and your art. I mean,
Well,
it's it's such an interesting thing from one creator, creative, whatever, to another. We know what we're talking about with those feelings and those nerves.
yeah, yeah, and, yeah, it's interesting because I don't know if the people listening like, know that I am quite active in music, and
Mhm.
it's not something that I really want to make a big deal of on this because it's really kind of beside the point of the podcast, but, like, you know, just for the for this conversation, for the purposes of this conversation, I'm kind of thinking like, well, you know, it's I know what it's like to put something out there and care about that and really, uh, you know, want to be careful about what you're trying to say and what you're trying to put out there and entertaining people and making sure that people feel that they've got the value of their time for investing in what you're showing them.
Mhm.
It just means a lot to me that if I'm going to do something, then I hope that you know people are going to leave that project feeling that their time was well invested, because that's what entertainment is essentially. And because what we're doing here is entertainment,
Mhm.
even if it's the background conversation to your commute, or uh, you know, you're
Or
cooking dinner and you're listening to us or whatever, like that's
yeah.
still your time, that's your attention. And the fact that you give that to us is precious to me. I'm sure it's the same for you.
Oh, yeah.
Um, I want to make sure that that time that you've invested, you leave that experience feeling that it's well spent
Yeah.
and that you've come out feeling that you've got the most from whatever has been put out. Because I know what it's like as a consumer to feel shortchanged by an experience, and as someone
Mhm.
putting stuff out there, you that's that's the point. It's to enrich someone's time. It's to give back.
Yeah. I as someone who's been consuming, I mean, I some people would say I had a YouTube addiction at one point.
Hmm.
Um, and I have multiple YouTube tabs open on my computer at almost any given time. YouTube on my phone is almost always open in the background. I fall asleep listening to YouTube. I wake up and YouTube is still playing. I mean, I that has been my like crutch for sound for a long time. But I also know when to shut it off. But watching YouTube creators as long as I have, I see I've seen them fizzle and burn out. I've seen them not know what to do next and then disappear. I've seen them be truly grateful for whatever views and attentions they get. And I
Hmm.
also know that anybody starting out on something, it's the unless you're a narcissist who thinks that you're gonna excel at every single thing every single time, there's that fear.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, my brother's band just did their album release party while I was in Atlanta. And I've watched his band's Spotify jump from 3 monthly listeners to 22. And that swelling of pride knowing how much work was put into that album, not just by my brother, but by everybody else in the band,
Hmm.
that for me, I'm like, no, I will play that on. I'll put it on. I'll listen to it. But I also know when someone is kind of selling out or they're not feeling it. And the amount of useless YouTube videos I've seen where it's like you are just
Yeah.
cookie cuttering, carbon copying, you're not into it, you don't care. So why should I?
Yeah. Yeah. Well, again, sorry to bring it back to my experiences, but I've been in the position where I'm in a project where I'm not interested in what I'm doing anymore.
Mhm.
And you're kind of like you're holding on to that moment of inspiration for longer than it exists.
Yeah.
And it's just and this is, I have things that could have gone further than they did, but I wasn't feeling them. And I
Yeah.
knew when to bow out for me. Um and to have carried on in an environment where I was doing things to please others rather than get that feeling of, creativity for myself.
Mhm.
That's horrible. It's not worth doing.
No. And I work with so many entertainers now that I had a phenomenal entertainer with or phenomenal dinner with an entertainer, Steve, who passed up many opportunities
Yeah.
that, were more money or, he would be working for a bigger name, but he passed on them and that ended up leading him to even greater success.
Yeah. You've got to do what's right for you at the end of the day
Yeah.
because, you know, people can smell a fraud a mile off. Well, in some cases, people can smell a
Yeah.
fraud a mile off. This is the thing I don't understand is that, when you've got like these kind of two realms of like independent creativity and then you've got kind of corporate creativity.
Mhm.
And what I think is so strange is that in like kind of smaller communities and smaller realms of creativity, people can sniff out a rat like that, and
Mhm.
it can be the death knell of your career or whatever. But then, like, it gets to those higher echelons, and there's this kind of weird phenomena that happens where the people will eat it up.
Right.
It's so strange. That kind of it's so duplicitous. It's very strange.
Yeah. And it being an entertainer, a creator, whatever whatever you choose to identify as, it's not easy because unless you're a narcissist, you you can be full of self-doubt and you become your own worst enemy. And if you aren't surrounded by truly uplifting folks,
Oh,
you just
and folks that'll be honest with you.
yes, you will just crash and fucking burn.
Yeah, 100%.
And that's like those of you who don't who don't hang out in my stream, I wrote a script. So January of
Oh,
2021,
oh no.
I wrote a script. It's only 11 pages long. It's something very short. And I pumped it out in like 6 hours, but I was super proud that I did this. The very next day, I got a concussion at my day job. And I have been terrified to really touch this script ever since. But some of the people I have sent it to have given me phenomenal feedback and were very honest. Some people have just been like, "Oh yeah, it's good." And then other people are just like, "Oh yeah, it's a thing. Do something with it." And I'm like, "No, I want someone who's going to go, "No, this is shit. This is shit. You need to completely rework this. This doesn't make sense." And like I can have a room full of yes men But as soon as I step out of that room full of yes men, what I'm holding in my hand could be dog shit.
Yeah.
Like, and that's why I appreciate a lot of the people in my community because I don't have a whole lot of yes men. Um, I have a lot of people who are like, if you want to go for it. But like, do
Yeah,
do
and
you,
can
boo
I
boo?
please say
But
this applies to what we're doing here as well. If you think there's anything that doesn't work here, we'd love to hear how to make this better. I
yes.
personally would love to hear because everybody thinks their shit don't stink, and I don't care what you say. Like, I'm something of a modest person generally. Like, I don't think that I do anything spectacular, but when you do something, you don't necessarily, you don't necessarily see the flaws
Mm-hmm.
in what you've created in a way that another perspective can. So if anyone has like any insight, please tell me. Please tell
Yeah.
us.
It's and you've got the people who think their shit don't stink, or you've got people who are so overly critical that they criticize every single thing that they've put out, so they never actually put anything out completely.
Well, oh no. Well, you're attacking me there, really.
Oh no, I'm attacking myself.
Yeah, because I'm so guilty of that. I mean,
Like,
I had a solo EP recorded for a couple of years that no one has ever heard,
mhm.
and probably will never hear because it's so old at this point. It doesn't relate. But if anything, like this podcast kind of helps show, like just do it, do the thing, put it out
Yeah.
there.
I literally sent you a message, when I woke up at like 11 o'clock because I stayed up way too late last night. And I was just like, hey, I'm down to record if you are. I don't have a guest, so let's try this again. And then, like, we did what we needed to do throughout our days, and then we sat down to record. And I'm like, somehow I have been able to spin gold out of like winging it, flying by the seat of my pants, and cultivating something really cool. And everybody says it's because of me, and I firmly disagree. But that's that's the part of me that's like, no, everything can always improve, everything can always be better, never stop working, never stop improving. But I also know that I have a big part to play because I've got my Twitch community, which y'all know who you are and y'all know that I love your faces. And just it it's so it's so weird because, something I've been wanting to do for over a decade, I'm finally doing it and I'm finally finding some success and some luck with it. And I look at I look at analytics. I'm a big analytics person. And I look at my analytics and there is no way that I should be as successful as I am financially, emotionally, whatever. There is no way, but I am. And so I am thankful every day for it. So when something goes wrong on stream or I fuck up a podcast recording or
uh,
or
yeah.
I I kick myself a little bit, but then I also am at this point where I'm like, shit happens.
Well, I'm gonna say we're both on better footing than the last recording.
Oh yes.
So listener who missed out last week, you're getting a better product.
Yes. But kind of changing gears a little bit. I mean, I will talk a little bit about the charity drive that I've been doing for the last couple days. That'll end probably the day this comes out. At least I'll stop being super public about it. But I am the Trevor Project, not the Trevor Project. To Write Love in Our
Yeah.
Arms, who I did that drive for in December. They reached out to me and were like, "Hey, we love what you did. and you shared your story and your struggles with depression and all that kind of stuff. Would you want to be involved in World Suicide Prevention Day, which was on the 10th? And I said, of course, not looking at when the subathon was, when Dragon Con was, when everything was. And so I've been going nonstop. Like, I was planning my subathon and this charity drive at the exact same time. And so for me, it's been just kind of a wild journey because I've met other creators and I've met other folks who are just phenomenal people who all share the same kind of mental health focused drive. And
Mm.
um
It's something that I think everyone struggles with in their lives,
mhm,
and until now, until the current kind of epoch, the current moment in time, we're only just starting to really talk about.
yeah. I mean, it's one of those things for me where I'm very open and honest about my struggles with my mental health.
Yeah,
And getting to the point where I'm at now has been many, many, many years. And I'm not perfect. I mean, I still have my bad days and I figure out ways to get around it and push through it and move on, but there are people who have lost that fight. And
uh,
so,
yeah,
I mean, there's a member of my community who lost that fight and was saved and brought back.
yeah.
And
And I'll be really open right now and say that I've been in that position myself. Uh,
yeah,
so yeah, and that's not to put the spotlight on me. That's just to say, like, it doesn't matter how what your perception of someone is. There's stuff going on under the surface, which is why causes like this are so important.
I
And
mean,
yeah,
to be very transparent, Friday was a very bad mental health day for me, but I did I pulled from my tool bag of tricks and things that I needed to do to feel feel like I could get back to normal. And I struggled with it yesterday, you know, rolling out of bed to get up to get food and take care of myself.
yeah,
And I did everything that I would normally do to get to that point, and I worked through it and I powered through it. So raising money for To Write Love on Our Arms is is something that they reached out to me and said, "Yeah, would you do this?" And I said
yeah.
yes without hesitation.
Which is amazing because they've been a name in that field for so many years and such a visible name in that field.
Yeah,
Because I remember To Write Love on Her when we were in the MySpace days.
yeah,
You know that so it's this isn't small potatoes in that,
no,
and the reason I'm saying that isn't a flex. What the reason I'm saying that is, and I urge people, because you've said that the money, the link is going to be up there for the rest of the month. It
yep,
doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you donate during the streams. It doesn't matter if you donate, um, today or tomorrow. That link's going to be up there for the month. But just know that
mhm,
that money is going to go towards making some actual tangible positive change.
yeah. I mean, they sent me a media kit. First time I'd ever received a media kit, and I was just like, "What the actual fuck is this?"
Yeah, yeah. Media kits suck, by the way.
I mean,
Unless it's for something nice like this, but corporate media kits are terrifying.
yeah, but I mean, there's a group, a Discord that is very, I'm in a Discord group that we're all kind of raising money together, and we've been very lucky to have direct contacts with um with folks that work directly with To Write Love on Our Arms, and asking questions and sharing our stories and banding together as this motley crew of streamers and content creators. And it's one of those things where, you know, some people have only been able to raise $1. Some people are, $500. I know my goal is $500 and we're almost halfway there. And today and tomorrow, so Sunday the 12th and Monday the 13th, you guys will probably be listening to this on the 13th or after. But that's when I'm ending my big public push, but the link will still be there. It will still be active until
Mm.
the end of the month. And the money that I'm planning on donating from my subathon is going to this cause because I know people whose lives have been saved by this organization. I know the organization was not like, I had heard of it and I knew of it, but I was never one to take advantage of their services, and I wish I had. And I have a command in my chat that I don't use very often, but it's there. Exclamation point help. And it gives you, I found a list of suicide hotlines for the majority of the countries in the world. It's like an 18-page document that no matter what country you're in or where you're at, if you need help, there are resources, and I will never shy away from that. I want I want folks to know that there's a future. I mean,
Yeah.
Bad Flower put out a song, and at the very beginning, there's a quote, and suicide doesn't end the possibility of life getting worse. It eliminates the possibility of it ever getting any better.
100% correct.
That is a sticky note that sits on my desktop on my PC, and I look at that all the time.
Well, you know, it's 100% true. And when talking from personal experience, when you and always reach for help and know
Mhm,
that talking about your problems in the right way does alleviate a lot of those things uh, that make you think that things aren't worth carrying on.
mhm,
But as someone that has been through the process and has survived it, I'll say this now, that the first thing you think when you wake up is work. And that's, it's a hell of a powerful feeling to think, thank God it didn't work. Thank God that you are able to experience all the wonderful things that life can give you.
mhm.
And please, if you are at home and you struggle with these problems, take advantage of what help is out there. And know
Yes.
that, we're a small enough community now that know that we can respond to you,
Yeah, and
either of us.
if if I don't there's many people in the community that will say, um, "We we will do what we can to help you." We're not trained professionals, but we are not, even though we're not trained professionals, we can be an ear, we can be a shoulder to cry on. We can steer you in the right direction. So
Yeah, just
never
know, yeah, from people that have been there, you know what I mean? Like, that's so important to remember, you're not alone.
Mhm.
I'm so sorry to cut you off there. Please carry on.
Oh, no, you're fine. I just know that, um, we love and support our community, and we love and support the people that are around, and I've had strangers reach out to me. I mean, I had a I have an experience where I saved someone from ending their own life because I gave them a smile. I told them, to keep up hope. And then I called the authorities.
Mhm.
Like, and then afterwards, I called my mom, freaked out and terrified. And she stayed on the phone with me for 6 hours until my work relief came in. And I I am very, very, very happy that I was able to do that because this person came back to me and thanked me.
Yeah.
And this is someone who I didn't know. This is someone who I had seen only a couple times before, just out and about. And he said something that didn't settle right. And when you hear something like that, you take y- it carries with you. It it doesn't it doesn't it doesn't go away. I mean, I have the memory of it very distinctly.
Mhm.
And I'm not patting myself on the back, but I saved a life. And that's something that sits with you. And that's something that you can hold on to. I mean, I held on to it. I hold on to it constantly because that means I've done something good. And so for me to be able to keep doing good by raising money for a cause that
Mhm.
fucking matters, like throwing money at me, yeah, big preach. Throwing money at the stream so I can continue to improve and I can keep doing it. Big preach. Don't get me wrong, but being able to turn around and throw that money back towards something substantial and something good, that is something that I never thought I'd be able to do.
Mhm. Yeah. 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 100%. And then, like through that, you realize, like, you learn the value of life. You
Mhm,
think about others, and you think about like how sad you'd be to lose others. Apply
mhm,
that. You need to learn to apply that to yourself, guys.
yeah,
Because at the end of the day, you know, you need to learn to love yourself and value yourself like you value those that give you the most joy.
mhm,
Because if you're not there in yourself, you can't appreciate those moments.
yep.
Um, so please, something's
The
bugging you, reach out.
yes.
On that
The
note, on that note, I think we should change tack a little bit
Okay,
and be a little bit chaotic
I'm
because
I'm here for it.
I know that we weren't going to do this on the last time, but I think we should do some listener questions.
Oh, no, okay.
Is there anything in the bag in the guest questions section?
Um,
Because now we've spoken about that. Let's give back. Let's give some joy. Let's give some chaos.
so, we've got one from Derp House. Uh, what is your favorite bad joke to make everyone else groan?
Oh God. I'll let you go first.
So my go-to, and I do it to people all the time just to mess with them, is the beginning is different depending on the group or the circumstance, but the punch is always the same. But the most common version of this joke is, did you hear about the Boy Scout camping trip?
I didn't hear about the Boy Scout camping trip.
I mean, you should have because it was pretty intense.
Mm. Oh, fuck. Oh, no.
I heard the audible, like, groan.
Oh, shit. Jesus fucking Christ. Did it? I'm not sure about that one.
It's just dad jokes. Every dad joke
Yeah.
gets people to groan, and that's one of my favorite dad jokes.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, that is like as dad as they come because like dad's the scout leader.
Right? It works on so many
Yeah.
levels.
My dad still wears shorts.
Oh, no. Dad
Mm.
shorts.
No, not dad shorts. Oh my god.
Eh.
Like,
Oh.
yeah. Ah, yeah, my dad, he went out there and he showed us how to skin a caribou to make us seem like, what a terrible impression of
I
like
don't know where that
Minnesota.
was going, but I was along for the ride.
Oh, yeah, dad, yeah.
Oh, your
My,
horrible
my,
Midwest
da-
accent.
my dad, he's, intense,
God damn it.
Uh,
Everybody at home groan with me.
yeah, yeah.
Oh.
No, no. That sounds filthy.
Oh God, no. Ah, damn it.
Oh, fuck that home growing man. Ginger Talks podcast.
No, that's Spooky Sundays are also Simpin' Sundays, so.
Jesus. Yeah, that was it. That was yeah, that was a good one. That was like that was prime like dad
Yeah.
joke fucking shit that was.
You got one?
Uh yeah, okay. Uh okay. So something weird happened to me the other day. Right. So I was singing in the shower full blast. And the guy cleaning my windows came by and knocked on the window, and he told me to come down. So I got dressed and went to see him. He's been good for the house for a hot minute, so I had to go down and see him, the window cleaner. He said he loved hearing the song, and he used to work for a record label. I was so stoked when he asked for some of the recordings of my stuff, but things took a turn when I showed him the songs. He just shook his head and sighed. You sounded different in the shower. He said it
Oh.
was he said it with an uncomfortable lament in his voice, which was quite disconcerting. It's just the wrong genre, no drama. I was less confused. I was confused. I thought, wrong genre. What the fuck genre did the window cleaner want? All I'd done was sing in the shower. So I asked him cautiously, "What genre were you hoping for?" And he looked at me out the bathroom window and he said, "With the reverberation from your shower cubicle, I was hoping it would be a soap opera."
God damn it. Son of a bitch. Uh, that was uh that was yeah, that's a very good groan joke.
Oh, I've got a few of them.
Uh and that one
So
was not short either, and that's part of what I like about it.
Yeah, well, actually, I just like invented the preamble for that, if you can believe it
Oh
or
my
not.
god.
So there you go. Another one that I really like is why why did the Scarecrow win the Nobel Prize?
Why?
Because he was outstanding in his field.
God damn it. God damn it.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
I'm here all night.
Beep, 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 beep.
But don't be here all night.
But please leave. Okay, Google.
And welcome to the stage, Carrot Top.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Fucking Carrot Top.
What's another one? What made the math book sad?
What?
It was all full of problems.
God damn it. I never have dad jokes like at the ready. I always like I'm very much like, oh, here is a dad joke that I've come up with out of nowhere. But anytime I need to like have a dad joke ready, it never I never have one. And it's the struggle.
Oh no. Have we got any more questions?
That was the one question that we had because we've already answered the one standing question for every podcast episode.
Oh no. Well, I've got one here.
Okay.
This is from Gore-Tex Scumbag again. Thank,
Again,
thank you for your continued listening efforts, Gore-Tex
yes.
Scumbag. So Gore-Tex Scumbag writes, what if you could pick one album by any artist to describe your daily life, what would it be and why?
Oh shit.
Yeah. It's a pretty difficult question to answer without preparation, I must say.
It is,
So
but
thank you, Gore-Tex Scumbag, you fucking asshole.
yeah, Gore-Tex scumbag. What a fucking scumbag.
Living up to your fucking name there, aren't you, pal?
Yeah. Oh god. Um,
So I guess this can go as deep or as silly as you like,
yeah.
but it's your justification that matters.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Oh, let's see. So I've got two for very differing reasons. I've got Funhouse by Pink. So the reason being, so the backstory of this album, for those of you who don't know, is Pink wrote this album after she and her husband separated. And so like So What and Sober and Funhouse and Glitter in the Air and Please Don't Leave Me, these are all songs off that album. But there's such a range of the so what, I'm still a rock star, I've got my rock moves and I don't need you, to I'm a bad influence on you, to the chilling Glitter in the Air. And there's sadness and hope and fun in the way that it's also a reality
Mhm.
um from it. And that this is one of those albums that was very influential in a certain point in my life.
Okay,
And
yeah.
so I go back and I listen to it quite a bit. Quite a bit. And I could have gone like down the My Chemical Romance road for the other side, but I cut this out. But what was the other album that
That's
I
the
said?
one.
I said that there was another one. What did I say it was?
You didn't?
Oh shit, I didn't and I blanked on it. Um yeah, I mean that might just have to be the one because like I could say, like My Chem or oh, I remember what the other one was. Death of a Bachelor by Panic at the Disco.
Okay. Yeah. So why the why I think is the bit of the question here.
So,
So
Death of a Bachelor, if you listen to Brendan Urie talk about writing that album, he talks a lot about, like, it was the death of his bachelor life. You know, he was very serious and he stopped drinking and partying as much, as crazy as he was, but he also, when you listen to Don't Threaten Me with a Good Time,
yeah,
like, that song is very much a, um let's party and be stupid and not remember the night and let's be crazy. But then when you listen to Death of a Bachelor itself,
yeah,
it's it's that, oh, you've noticed that something has changed. And all the songs on that album very much straddle that before the change and the metamorphosis of our singer to afterwards. And we all go through those phases in life. And I think that encapsulates perfectly who I was before I changed my life into
hmm
now.
yeah. Interesting, because I think it's funny because that kind of feeds into where I think music is at, culturally at the moment, where
Mhm,
from about the 60s to the 2010s, music was popular music was always like the most popular bands were always about the moment and how you react to the moment.
mhm,
And my theory is that right now, and you get this in like emo rap, even to like the extent of maybe like The Weekend and artists like that,
yeah,
music since then has been like like looking at the hangover of the experience.
mhm,
Music now almost talks about the regret of the party all the time.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean by that?
I definitely understand that because I'm a big believer in looking at the meanings behind lyrics and what lyrics are actually about. And there was a point in time where all the way back, like, people who don't know the origins of the song Jeremy by Pearl Jam,
Yeah,
all the way to Foster the People with Pumped Up Kicks, like, all of these songs that really, truly, deep down have a very dark, sad meaning, but we just partied to them like it was, you know,
yeah.
like the
It's
end of the world.
it's like about the moment, but like we're kind of, and I don't know if this is like a reaction to things going digital in a way, or the way that we look at we don't call it media anymore. We call it content.
Yep.
So I think there's like a philosophical difference in how you look at like stuff that comes out and the kind of art that you need to create.
Mhm.
And I'm not to say that there wasn't um music that dealt with that feeling, because there's millions of songs out there that deal with that kind of feeling of regret, and some of my favorite artists do that and have done
Mhm.
that in the 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, whatever. But what I'm saying is like popular music, the music at the top of the charts is doing that
Yeah.
now in a way maybe that they didn't before. So like that, like what you're saying there, it kind of feel like what happens after the dust has settled on the good times, or the dust has settled on like a certain phase in your life.
Mhm.
Or maybe that's just because I'm entering my 30s soon. I don't know.
Well, and that's the other thing too is, you know, the the thing I love about, like, Death of a Bachelor, the opening lines, "Do I look lonely?" Uh, let me get the exact lines correct. Shut up, Siri. Nobody asked you. Do I look lonely? I see the shadows on my face. People have told me I don't look the same. Maybe I've lost weight. I'm playing hooky with the best of the best. Like that entire first stanza literally is that hangover of what
Hmm.
music was.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I mean, you just like it's so strange how like I guess this comes with like a culture. And sorry, I didn't really like foresee this becoming so like analytical about the nature of media or anything, but in like a world where we dialogue about a product is so rife, where we it's true. Like let's look at the Marvel movies.
Yeah.
uh a product comes out and there's a constant dialogue between people analyzing the machinations of what came to like make the thing, and uh like the kind of inner workings of what creates media. That dialogue has become louder and more prevalent, so I think it becomes a natural point that the art itself comes to reflect reflection itself as a result of that,
Yeah.
as a result of the fact that even in the fact that I would say the last kind of ironic that I'm saying it on such a format, but the last bastion of media where it's like a grassroots thing that can grow from nothing and be completely independent are podcasts, and podcasts are so are so
Mhm.
popular. It's all part of the fact that now we're obsessed with dialogue and dissecting the meaning of things, and then part of that comes that we talk about the effects of things more.
Yeah.
So then music reflects that, films reflect that, not the moment, but rather the effect of the moment.
Well, and being someone who absolutely um loves finding the meaning in things and looking, it's for me it comes as a I know a lot of art is, you know, it is it is just art and you take from the meaning what you will. But, like my paintings,
Hmm.
I fully believe that they are a representation of the person, but my representation of the person and what someone sees from it is different than what I've put on the canvas. And it's the same thing with music and writing lyrics or writing a poem. And there's so much interpretation to it. But then when a creator sits down and says that, the creator of the piece sits down and says, no, this is what it means.
Yeah, that
It it
it kills it.
it
It kills the sense of mystery, I think.
yeah. And there's in certain ways, yes. I think if there's something that's very ambiguous on purpose, leave the sense of mystery. Leave it. Like, um, You're So Vain, we don't know who that song is actually about.
Yeah, and well, the brilliant point about that song is that every man thinks it's about him.
Right.
That is it, and maybe that's part of the point as well.
And but like Death of a Bachelor, Brendan Urie has come out and said, no, this album is about me moving on to this next stage in my
Hmm.
life. And that old party guy that went buck wild and crazy, he's he's gone. He's dead.
Yeah,
And it brings because like Death of a Bachelor, I enjoyed that song. I loved that song. Um Hey Look My made it. I mean, if we're talking about Panic at the Disco, like it's Hey Look My made it. I feel different hearing that song now than I did when it first came out.
well, you're talking to someone that hasn't listened since "A Fever You Can't Sweat Out."
Oh my god. Okay. So Hey Look
Yeah,
My made it is one of those songs that lyrically Brendan Urie did amazing. Um it's the chorus um is just hey look my I made it. Hey look my I made it. Everything's coming up aces. If it's a dream don't wake me. I said, "Hey, look, mom, I made it." But there's an entire stanza that is friends are happy for me or they're honeysuckle phonies. Then they celebrate my medals or they want to take my trophies. Some are loyal soldiers while these other thorns are rosy. But if you never know who you can trust, then trust me, you'll be lonely. It literally is like a love song to what it's like to being a creator at all, getting any sort of
Yeah.
fame, getting any sort of power, any sort of influence. And for me, listening to that song a few years ago, oh, cool, it's a good, boppy song. But now, as someone who's been streaming for a year, who has raised $14,000 for charity, or been involved with it, or done some of these things that I've done, it hits a totally different way.
Yeah.
Like, and so for me, I can sit and I can listen to that song just passively and, "Oh, yeah." But then when I sit and I hear it, like, right before I stream, oh, it it hits in just such a different way, which I think most media and art should do.
Yeah.
Like
The role of anything like artistic is to convey like a moment, like a feeling,
mhm,
and convey like how you should feel about something. So, like, I mean, the fact that it does that for you is it shows its success.
yeah. It so that's, I do like finding the meaning in something, but this song hits different for me than it would for you maybe, or for my roommate,
Yeah,
or,
yeah,
and
I
that's
think
the thing I love about it.
yeah. Good answer. Good answer.
What's yours
Uh,
now that I've ranted about mine?
so I'd go for well, maybe I've got two. Um, So the first would be, and really sorry to be super predictable. First album for me, kind of that it was it was a big album for me when I first heard it. Changed my life, and then went on to change my life again. Was Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon.
Big shock.
Yeah, yeah, I know. So I heard it as a child when I first picked up the electric guitar, and it made me evaluate how I wanted to look at the instrument, and which would become such a big thing in my life. I've been playing guitar now for oh shit 17 years, and that was a big thing for me, like learning that. But then I had a big moment again. I was in a hardcore band. We were playing really simple songs, very like genre specific, like trying to chase the spirit of a genre rather than trying to experiment. And then one time we had a bit of an evening. I won't say what we did. We were like the caterpillar in Alice in Wonderland, and blowing smoke, and lying on the floor looking at the ceiling. I listened to that album again for the first time in years, and the scope of it showcased that actually this is the sound of people pushing themselves to create a whole product and a message and an ethos. And that spirit really resonated with me that night. And I took it into everything that I did ever since, where I was like, well, if you're going to be the guy that does something, you're going to be the best at what you do.
Mhm.
Just purely in the scope of them creating something so thematically resonant, something that, like, the chords in the first song are echoed in the last song. It's a complete thought, And
Yeah.
it kind of showed me the merit of what a complete thought was. And so in my day-to-day life, since that moment, I've tried to instill that in everything that I do, that everything that I do is a complete thought and conveys like a complete message. And I do it in the way that kind of showcases the best of my abilities.
Yeah.
And also has probably one of my favorite lyrics of all time when they say, in the song Time, they say, hanging on in quiet desperation is the English way.
Yes.
And, you know, I didn't think much of it for like a long time, but then I realized that really did mirror the culture that I grew up in. Like that one line seemed to like just embody so much of like what my experience was of like life and so many things.
That makes sense. As someone who wasn't exposed to a whole lot of English culture, like Pink Floyd was one of my first real kind of looks in, and it drove my ex-wife crazy. Some of the grammar and phrasing of things.
Yeah. You mean the correct grammar?
Yes. Yes. It drove her absolutely batshit, and she's like, "I can't listen to the song because," and I was like, "Deal with it. Deal with it, because we're listening to the song more."
Yeah, it was a life-changing moment for me, and actually there were principles in there that I took just from the fact that they created a concept, and it was such a full concept, and it was my first like kind of appreciation that you can create something so grand. And I've took that into even the way that I speak and the way that I interact on chat. I try and bring this kind of level of like the grandiose.
Mhm. It and there's something about the way you interact in chat that I absolutely love. It because I know it's so full of your personality. Like, I fully get it and I see it. And so I give you shit because I know you at a level where I'm like, "Yeah, no, this is
Yeah.
just Druid being Druid."
Well, there's a strange level of like when I know this is like bringing commenting on a Twitch stream chat to a level that it shouldn't be, but like what um it's why I'm here. It's why I'm able to speak to you now. So fuck
Mhm.
off, detractors. Um, when like there are times when I interact in chat where basically what I am consciously doing is I am making fun or pointing out like aspects of chatting online. Like I'm trying to make a comment on what it is to chat online, and I'm kind of making fun of it.
Right,
So like the niceties of hanging out on chat. Like if I don't know someone, I might be like, "Hey, here he is, bringing the fucking storm," and
right.
like it's almost a caricature of like how people interact on the internet. Like I'm like I'm I think the reason that people think that it's funny when I talk on chat is because I'm making fun of talking on chat whilst talking on chat.
Yeah. It's the meta of it all.
Yeah, yeah, which is why I'm able to like start a podcast on it because I am doing a meta commentary on it
Right.
at the same time.
And it's so funny because going back and listening to the first 3 episodes where it's me and you, and we're just shooting the shit, and
Yeah,
then it's someone that you know at least well enough that we've gamed together.
Yeah.
and then someone whose chat you've been in just a tiny little bit, but just the way your frame of interaction and questions for them changes. Because you'll
Right.
ask me a question that's just, a friend asking a friend a question. Maybe a
Yeah.
little bit more formal because it's a podcast, but then with Lila, you were the same way. But then when we got to Adzi and Lava was a little bit of an odd one because, we were all getting schwasty, but it the formality and your actual inquisitive questions are different than they present different than they would in a text-based format like chat.
Hmm.
And so that's one of the things that I truly, truly enjoy about this because so many of these guys know each other via text. They don't know each other via audio calls or video calls or anything like that. So it's definitely, I love that you are big brain that you can do that. And it doesn't like none of us are just like, fuck off.
I mean, it really is about knowing what's appropriate
Right.
for someone. We can't start slapping ourselves on the back talking about how great we are at interviewing, but um, you know, you've got to know what's going to be comfortable uh, in terms of like how people react to you,
Yeah.
and we're here to showcase them. At the end of the day, we're here to like bring the most out of a guest, and I hope that that's something that happens.
Yeah. I do.
Going forward, that's going to be more of a stretch because we're going to start. I can't be in every stream. I can't know everyone. So the more we go on, the less I'm going to know people.
And but I think that's what some of the beauty of this is because you've some people my direction as podcast guests where you know who they are and I have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, so I'm looking to get this person. I'm trying with this person, trying to schedule this person, and you're just like, cool. I have no idea who the hell that is, and I'm like, I know, it's fine. Like, it's just, I think that's part of the beauty of this
Well,
is,
that's what even some of the guests say that some of the beauty will be that I don't know what we're talking about because like there's an element of this culture where I'm a bit of an outsider um in that there are elements of the culture that to be honest like I don't engage with. I'm not that familiar with, but I'm interested in knowing what the perspective behind what creators do is.
mhm,
And like I'm interested in the process and why people are doing things.
yeah. It it's the getting to know someone you never would have known or met or experienced, and the thing with an audio podcast like this is it's slightly intimate in a way that just watching someone on stream or watching a YouTube video or you know a 5-minute interview on a TV station like it's it's different to sit down and actually have a conversation with someone.
There's no um in this format there's no distraction from who you are.
Mhm.
There's no game. There's nothing but yourself. But like, streaming is so much of giving yourself, but this is like the next level up from that in a way because it's like you can't turn your head away and go like look at the man with the sword.
Right.
Hey, look at the little fairy guy with the sword. There's none of that. It's all you've got to, this is why, in this episode now, we talked about some heavy concepts, we talked about some big things, big ideas.
Hmm.
It forces you to consider what you think about things rather than just like almost reacting to something happening at the time.
Hmm. It's it's as someone who streams and is now doing this. It's a different beast. It's a different ball game, and
Mhm.
I'm sure you performing music to doing this, it's different for you too, I'm sure.
Yeah, because well, let me just say as well, like to anyone listening at home, this is completely unplanned.
Oh, always.
Even in streaming, there's a level of planning taking place,
Yeah.
and I'm quite glad that this is unplanned because it's just reeling off and kind of getting to know us and getting to know the guests in maybe like a deeper way
Mhm.
and promote like what is essentially like good personalities, good people, and
Yeah.
show them for what they are.
That's that's exactly it. That's what the whole purpose of this podcast isn't just for Druid and I to sit here and jerk each other off. It's to highlight other content creators and folks in the communities and just share some love and you
Yeah,
know
and in recent days, there's so much more love to share.
yeah.
I mean, people are just like coming in, and whenever you guys come in, like new people come in, me and Ginger are just going behind the scenes. We're going, this person's got to be a guest.
Yep. I
That person's
have.
a guest. That person's a guest. That person's a guest.
Yep. And it's so if you've come around and you've done something that we really dig, or you've been a great supporter, or you've just hung around and had some fun with us, it does not go unnoticed, and we will be contacting you to talk to
Yeah,
you about things.
and can I just say, you don't necessarily have to be a streamer
No.
because I'm not a streamer and I'm the host of the stream podcast. So you don't have to be a streamer. It's
Yeah.
just that so many people exhibiting so much that we love you so much. We want a piece of you.
Yeah.
We want a piece of you, and we want to celebrate what makes you you. That's what this is
Uh-huh.
all about.
And we want to really just kind of showcase those amazing folks, whether they're a supporter, whether they are a person who um a person who just chills and vibes with us, or if there's someone who does a lot behind the scenes or has done something amazingly stupid like Ronnie, or just whatever it ends up being, whatever it is. I want to showcase basically my friends.
Mm, yeah, because that's what we all are, friends at this point.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that we come from all corners of the globe.
Yes.
Me and Ginger are a testament to that
Yeah. I
because
mean,
I didn't raid Ginger. I didn't. Um, I'd have no stream. This is just like it's interaction. It's showing your personality. It's showing who you
mhm. And we met in a text-based chat. We were in a chat,
are.
and shit happened. Like I'm here for it. Like
What a strange world where this can be the outcome of the text-based chat.
yeah,
Where now, I don't know how many hours we are into recording.
about
Pro-
2 probably.
we're 2 hours 40, more like.
Oh god, really?
Yeah. Where someone you've met on a text-based chat, then all of a sudden, within a month, you've of like collaborating, all of a sudden we've created something like uh 20 hours of content almost.
Oh, for sure.
What the fuck?
Just wild, man. But I wouldn't have anybody else on my side hanging out with me for this.
Well, thank you. Neither would I.
Hell yeah.
Neither would I.
You heard it, guys. He said he wouldn't rather do this with anybody else. If he does do this with anybody else, go support him and love him.
Oh, yeah. Like you wouldn't be jealous.
I mean, I'm always
Uh,
jealous.
I mean, if you try and start a podcast with me, look, I've already got a podcast. Okay? Uh, I'm not Druid Reagan, okay?
Fuck.
Uh, Forget about it. All right?
Forget about it.
I'll fucking ice you, you asshole. If you even come to me and ask me. I Druid, I do a Twitch stream as well. Can you start a podcast with me? No.
Fuck
Fucking die.
off.
Fucking die, you moron.
Yeah. Well, I guess we've hit the point where I guess it's about time we wrap it up because we've been recording for way longer than I thought.
We've hit the point where I'm gonna have to heavily edit the podcast.
Yup.
Yeah.
Uh, so I guess we don't have a guest to really plug anything.
I'll plug just well, do you know what? I've spoken about music so much. I'm gonna plug the EP.
Do it.
I recorded some music a little while ago. I've put it out for release for the first time. It took a little while for me to feel courageous enough to do that. All money went to suicide prevention upon release and has continued to go to suicide prevention as such. All money from the release for the next month will go to Ginger's to write love on her arms. And the link is spectraldeath666.bandcamp.com. That's spectraldeath666.bandcamp.com. All proceeds to Ginger's charity stream.
That's big big preach on that. If you're looking for some good tunes, check it out. And if you're looking for a way to support, first of all, go get the music. But if you go into
And
Tiltify and you search for "Always Keep Fighting," you'll find my campaign and the link. Sorry,
if
go ahead.
you don't start your stream with it this evening, I'm going to be really disappointed.
What? Oh god! Oh god!
As it's got to be your intro music. You've got to be a wrestler coming out the gates with that fucking EP now.
I have it on my computer because I know I gave you money for it.
Oh, yeah, you did. Thank you.
Um, but it's um
Oh, you don't. I was joking.
it's it's one of those things where
No, no, I was joking.
big
Please.
big preach, okay? Big preach.
No, I was joking.
I got friends who support. I don't give a fuck.
I,
Big
I, wa-
preach.
I was putting you on. I was putting you on the spot.
You were.
Yeah.
Um, but no, I do have a big appreciation for you and all of my friends who've supported consistently, and I thank you all who sit and listen to us, all 100 plus of you at this point. Um, Thank you. Your support means the absolute world.
It
So
really does.
check out Druid's music. Don't come hang out stream. And you know, do what you uh do what you do, and I will we'll be catching you around. We'll have a guest next time, so it'll be more garden variety chaos. Um, but until then, thank you so much, Druid, as always.
Thank you.
And thank you, listeners. Take it easy, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye. Sorry, I got real goofy there at the end because uh